battle. On the Necron side, we have a Tombstalker, a group of warriors with an Overlord, a Monolith with a Scarab unit hiding behind them. That Battlestar Galactica model will be a Doom Scythe. The Command Barge with the Stormlord. We have a Ghost Ark that has a full of a Cryptek and some warriors. We got a Lord and some warriors right there. Another Stalker, group of Scarabs behind the Stalker. A Doomsday Ark. Another Stalker, but that's one with, it does not have a heat ray. And a group of Immortals with a Lord and a Cryptek behind him. On the Grey Knight side, we have a Chimera with an Inquisitor and a group of Psykers. We have a Psyfleman Dreadnought and a Strike Squad in front of him with a Incinerator. We have a Razorback with heavy bolters and Cybolt ammunition, and behind him is a Venerable Dreadnought with a close combat weapon and a multi-melta. We have the Nemesis DreadKnight with a Great Sword and the Heavy Incinerator. We have another Psyfleman Dread and a Strike Squad in front of him. Two Stormravens, both with assault cannons, heavy bolters, and Cybolt ammunition. And in one of them we have a Librarian with a Paladin Squad, and the other one we have a 6-man Terminator Squad. And that is the Grey Knights army. Oh, and forgot, one little Vindicare Assassin. Okay, the Stormravens moved up 24 inches, and then they both used their assault cannons to shoot at that squad and almost wiped them out, but with reanimation protocol, they did come back. The Psyfleman Dreadnought fired at the Stalker and wasn't able to penetrate. This Psyfleman Dreadnought was able to see barely and hit the Doomsday Scythe and immobilized it, so it's stuck there the rest of the game. And everybody else just kind of moved forward, and since it is night fighting, that was the end of the Grey Knights turn 1 on to Necrons. Okay, after the Necrons turn, they moved up, and these guys kind of moved up, just kind of generally moving up. The lightning went and hit and took out this Stormraven, wrecked it, and these guys popped out. All of this that you're seeing on the screen shot at this Stormraven, but he made all of his cover saves and he was fine. The Scarabs during the assault phase moved in and with their entropic touch dropped it down 2 points on his armor. These guys deep struck in, shot at the Strike Squad and wiped out all but 2. And that was the end of the Necron turn. On to turn 2. Okay, at the end of the Grey Knights turn 2, the Nemesis moved up and Flamer templated that group of warriors and managed to kill 3 of them. The Vindicare Assassin, who's hiding right there, shot at the Command Barge and turbo boosted or turbo penetrated and just blew him up. Stormraven bounced back, shot at that squad. The Terminator Squad shot at that Warrior Squad and did manage to wipe it out. The Paladins shot at and then assaulted the Scarabs and killed them. The Psyfleman Dreadnought fired at and did removed all the weapons from the Doom Scythe, but he is still not a kill point yet. And these guys all shot at this group right here and only managed to kill 2 Immortals. So as the end of Grey Knights turn 2, it's now on to Necrons. At the end of Necrons turn 2, the Stormlord shot at with the Gauntlet of Fire and didn't really do anything against the Paladins, but then he assaulted them and locked themselves in combat. Gauntlet of Fire and the Melta shot at Terminator Squad and didn't do anything. The Monolith tried to Particle Blast the Vindicare and it scattered onto the Paladins and didn't do anything. The Warrior Squad and the Ghost Ark shot at the Nemesis and didn't get a wound, or the wounds were all saved, I should say. This little squad of Immortals shot at the Chimera and didn't do anything. This Stalker shot at the Chimera and ended up stunned it, so it can't move or shoot next turn. And that is it for Necrons. On to turn 3. Okay, at the end of the Grey Knights turn 3, the Nemesis moved up and Flamer templated to death that entire Warrior Squad. The Stormraven fired 1 Mind Strike missile at the Scarabs and killed 1. And then he shot his assault cannons and heavy bolters, but only heavy bolters in range of this Immortal squad, and killed a whole bunch. The Psykers popped out, did their psychic test, and killed a whole bunch of stuff over here. The heavy bolters over here fired at and tried to do a whole bunch, and there was down to one Immortal, and he made almost all of his reanimation protocols back. So he came almost back to full strength. The Psyfleman Dreadnought shot at that Tombstalker and killed him, blew him up. This Psyfleman Dreadnought finally finished off the Doom Scythe, so I finally got a kill point out of that. This Terminator Squad shot at the Lord, brought him down, but he made his reanimation protocol and bounced back, or his ever-living token. Over here, we did manage to put 2 wounds onto the Stormlord, but I did not pass my force weapon test, so we are still locked in combat over there. And then the Monolith got shot at by the Vindicare and lost his particle whip. So, on to Necron turn 3. Okay, the Immortals fired at the Strike Squad and almost wiped them out. The Stalker used his blast template and shot at and stunned the Chimera and then killed 3 of the Psykers, who then failed their leadership test and ran off the board. The Doomsday Ark fired at the Dreadnought and hurt the Strikers a little bit and then shook the Dreadnought, so he can't fire next turn. The Ghost Ark fired at the Nemesis and didn't do anything. Monolith moved up, tried to use his portal thing to suck up some Paladins and didn't make it. And then fired his flares and killed the Vindicare Assassin. The Stalker shot at, killed one of the Terminators, and then moved into joining the assault to kind of lock them into the assault. The Stormlord and the Paladins are still locked in the assault. They can't seem to hurt one another. And that is the end of turn 3. On to turn 4. At the end of Grey Knights turn 4, the Dreadnought moved up and assaulted the Cryptek. The Strike Squad shot at the Immortals and killed a couple guys. The Stormraven, though, really did a number on those Immortals and took them out. So they're the one who wiped out the Immortals and just left the Cryptek. But the Cryptek, of course, made his ever-living and came right back. The Nemesis moved up and then did his crazy Flamer template over. Took out the Scarabs. That thing, that Razorback didn't even shoot at anybody. I think I just forgot to even shoot him. The Psyfleman Dread over there shot at and blew up the Doomsday Ark. And then all of our close combats over here, nothing really happened. The Venerable Dread did run up and shot his Multi-Melta and missed at the Monolith. And then he tried to assault the Monolith and then missed. So nothing happened over there. So we are on to Necron turn 4. End of the Necron turn 4, the Monolith scooched over a little bit and did his little doorway portal thing and killed 2 Paladins outright. The Stalker in his assault killed 1 Terminator. The Lord backed away just to make sure nobody could come get him. The Cryptek actually vealed over to there, make himself nice and safe. That Stalker shot his blast template at the Dreadnought and did not manage to do anything. So that is the end of turn 4. We're on to turn 5. And at the end of the Grey Knights turn 5, Strike Squad guy moved back a little bit, tried to get in the back of the Rhino or the Razorback. The Psyfleman Dread and the Ordo guy fired at and killed the Stalker. The Venerable Dreadnought did multi-melted the Monolith to death, so that the Nemesis Flamer templated the Cryptek, but did not wound. Over here, the biggest thing that happened was that the Paladins finally did enough wounds to kill the Stormlord, and then consolidated around to where he could not come back with his ever-living. And then this Psyfleman Dreadnought did shoot at that Overlord, and he went down and then came back with his ever-living. And over here we lost 2 Terminators in this combat, but they did not flee, so they're still locked in that combat. And that is the end of Grey Knights. On to Necrons. Okay, end of the Necron turn 5. The Ghost Ark scooched over just a little bit to get in rapid fire range and wrecked the Stormraven. And then over there in that combat, the only thing that's left in there, the Tombstalker killed off the Justicars. There's only 1 Terminator left over there. And you want to roll to see if the game ends. On a 3 or better, the game continues. Game continues to turn 6. At the end of Grey Knight's turn 6, Venerable Dreadnought walked up and killed him in the assault, so the Spider's legs are now up. Nemesis DreadKnight got over to that Cryptek and killed him during assault and stood over top of him, and he failed his ever-living anyway. And I did try to blast template with this thing, but didn't. Yeah, he made his cover save against it, and I forgot to move the Dreadnought until after the shooting phase had started, so he couldn't see him. And that is the end of the Grey Knight's turn 6. We'll see if... Or are we just going to call it?
Call it.
I think we're going to call it and call that a game as a victory for the Grey Knights. The only units left is the Ghost Ark and that little itty-bitty Overlord who's hiding off in the corner next to the dead pile. And if we look at the kill points, we have... the Necrons have 1 kill point for that Stormraven, 1 kill point for that Stormraven, and 1 for the Vindicator, and 1 for the Psyker Squad. So that is a total of 4 kill points. And on the Necron side, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 12 kill points. And in case you're curious, one of those little guys in there designating the Doom Scythe. That's why it's in there. Excuse me, 13 kill points because we forgot about that one. So, victory for the Grey Knights.